Alright everyone, night 2 of the RNC was spectacular, as opposed to like the first night's good, but then it's gotten better, and you've had several major good moments in the RNC. You had none in the DNC. You didn't have a single standout moment there other than Joe Biden having a couple of verbal fumbles in his acceptance speech. There was nothing stand out. It'd be like a D+ effort. So far at the RNC, it's like a B-. It's not superb, like it's not quite as star-studded as I'm sure it would have been if it had been more of an in-person thing. And instead, it's basically video addresses cobbled together and a little bit of on-the-floor action. They did like the roll call, and that's about it. But number one on that list, I think the McCloskeys did good. Because that sort of, it's a pitch to suburban and small-town America. Basically, look at the violence that's happening right now. We were charged with a crime, the rioters weren't, because the Democrats hate law and order, they hate people defending themselves. If you don't vote for Trump, then this is going to spread to the suburbs. It was a powerful message to suburban America. Beyond that particular voting block, probably not so important, because a lot of people in urban or very rural settings have already made their vote. The rural areas and the marginal suburbs, they're going to vote Republican. The big city will vote Democrat. There's not a whole lot of minds to change there. It was a pitch straight to suburbia and some of the small cities, like a Burlington-sized city. So the McCloskeys would be number one. Don Jr. would be on that list, but only because of one single sentence where he called Joe Biden the Loch Ness Monster of the swamp. And the thing is that doesn't really make any meaningful difference. It's funny. It's a good quip. It's something that's definitely fun for your memes, and it spreads on Twitter really quick, but it spreads like wildfire and then drowns itself out, basically. It's in part of the 15-minute news cycle. It disappears within a couple of hours, and everyone has a chuckle, and then they forget all about it. It's not going to change anyone's mind vote-wise. Maximo Alvarez, RNC speech, though, was honestly top grade. This was an A+ style speech. Here you've got someone... He's a small business owner who sort of did the living capitalism a la Florida thing, like a Tony Montana-esque sort of thing going on there, where, you escape from Castro, you know what it's like to be under communism, and so it uniquely qualifies you to draw a comparison between the lawlessness of the commies and anarchists currently burning their own cities to the ground and throwing their overloaded diarrhea at the cops. They eat too many tendies and they drink too much Gatorade and it gives them indigestion. They say, oh shit, the toilet's backed up. What do we do? I got a box of condoms and balloons over here. Maybe we can make something out of this. And so Alvarez, because he knows what communism is like, because he fucking had to live under it. But I know the cringe fringe right now screeching, it wasn't real communism. No, it was the CIA made things bad in Cuba. Well, it's bullshit, but, you can believe whatever you want to believe. You're going to have screwy beliefs your entire life, and if you weren't a communist, you'd probably become a cult member or something because you're just scrambled in the brain. You're looking for an excuse to go mad, basically. He knows what it's like. So he can say, well, yeah, I like this capitalism. Look, I managed to make it from basically nothing, and working hard, and now he owns a business chain. I think it's a Sunshine Gasoline, if I remember correctly, so a chain of these gas stations and stuff. So he's a business owner now, and he's probably a reasonably wealthy man, has made it because of capitalism, because of the ability of a person who is working hard to save up by the means of production. Like somebody, like it's sort of like the pull yourself up by the bootstraps thing, like, yeah, well, I really wanted a car so that I could get this job in the other city, so I scrimped and saved for 2 weeks, and begged, borrowed, and stole, and then I financed the car, and then I paid it off, and I paid everyone back that I owed, and now I own the landscaping company. Someone from the 80s probably would do that. Doesn't really happen now except on the internet, unfortunately. But it's still better than communism, and his speech, listen to it for yourself, for your own benefit here, link in the description. See if it isn't quite effective. This is definitely the most effective speech so far in this political season as far as the DNC RNC thing goes. And the thing is, you've got multiple reasonably effective speeches. You've got people like Sandman, the McCloskeys, and then you have this on the RNC side. You don't really have any parallel for the DNC. The people that they dragged forward were basically brainless celebs. They're not going to change anyone's vote, as for reasons I've already described. I had a whole separate video just on the topic. Celebrity endorsements are goddamn fucking meaningless, because anyone that's going to take it seriously is already politically aligned with them to begin with. And half their fans sometimes can't vote. Billie Eilish endorsement. Your 12-year-old daughter urges you to vote for Joe Biden because the singer that she likes happens to like Joe Biden. that's not going to affect the parents' votes. They'll say, yes, sweetie, don't worry, I'll vote for Joe because we need to stop Trump. And then in the privacy of the voting booth, of course, they're ticking the box for Trump most of the time. They've got celebrities, career politicians, again, party insiders, partisans, and it's totally different if you look at the RNC. It's basically the Trump family circling the wagons, a couple of public officials, and then a laundry list of private citizens that have been inconvenienced in some capacity by the left or are worried about it, like he is, Maximo Alvarez, about being inconvenienced in the future. It's far, far more persuasive. Scott Adams having a field day. And I would challenge you, find a speech made at the DNC that comes close to this in terms of its overall persuasiveness. You're not going to find one. The DNC was a flop. And by the way, the RNC is kicking the ass of the DNC as far as the ratings go. It's funny because even Fox News, if you're watching it on TV, they constantly interrupt the people that are speaking. Don't watch it on TV. Watch a live stream and then watch recaps by your favorite creators. It's so much better. TV sucks. TV is friggin' stupid. Nobody should have TV anymore, or on demand, by the way. Just use alt tech and YouTube and cool shit like that and pay attention to people streaming on DLive or Twitch or something. It's so much more fun. And you can interact with people. You can actually potentially get to know the person that you're actually watching the content of every fucking day. Can you do that with TV? No, you can't. Fuck CNN. And fuck Fox News too. It's so fucking funny to see them strangulate themselves at the moment and alienate, piss off all their own fans. But this speech is far more effective than anything you saw at the DNC. By a significant, by an order of magnitude, arguably. Again, party insiders and celebs, okay, that's pretty standard. The Republicans would have been like that maybe 10 years ago. The Republicans used to do that. They'd have a bunch of big money donors, and you'd have senators, a fucking old boring senator, and they would drag a couple of young mavericks on there in tweed coats who already make millions of dollars. They didn't have an Alvarez in the past. Trump is the first one to sort of make this novel approach a thing. I'm sure that they resisted the idea of having Sandman there. Oh, what a lightning rod for them, because half the Democrats still think of him as the Nazi kid. Oh, he was that MAGA hat kid mocking Native Americans. You know, even though he's successfully settling multiple lawsuits, he's cleaned up. He's a millionaire now. Congratulations to him. Hopefully Alvarez, hopefully he's made his mint as well, and his business thrives. Of course, in this business climate, probably not going to happen. He's like, oh, well, shit, you know, if they close up the country like Biden wants to do. By the way, attended to this, Biden actually talking about closing the country off for 3 months if he's elected. What does that even fucking mean? Okay, so no flights, you're not allowed to go out again, everyone has to stay in their basement. Don't worry, though, they'll have freeze-dried tendies, Antifa's favorite meal, delivered right to your doorstep by a dude in a hazmat suit, or preferably a drone. By the way, drone deliveries, shouldn't you be like expediting that as much as possible right now? That's a main line of contamination, person-to-person interaction at your doorstep or whatever. I would think that would be one of the first, but that would put a bunch of postal workers out of commission. Well, we need to pay them more. We need more money for the post office. Oh my God, Trump is trying to rig the election by getting rid of a few voting sorting machines at marginal post office facilities. Oh my God. But watch the speech for yourself. See how this stacks up. Watch all the speeches from the DNC if you can stomach it. And then you'll realize after you compare this or the McCloskeys or Sandman or something, or even Don Jr., when you compare them to what you saw at the DNC, you'll understand why there are 10 times more people watching the RNC streams on the internet and watching on TV. They're paying attention to Trump. It's funny, the Democrats are flipping out. They're terrified right now by that fact. I fucking guarantee it, because I've seen them spreading AstroTurf propaganda on all the left-wing pages saying, don't watch Trump! Deny him the ratings that he wants so much! It's too late for that, dude. And these people are actually changing people's minds. Do you think any of the Trump voters suddenly said, well, yeah, I'm gonna hashtag vote blue because Joe Biden made a speech and didn't make too many errors? Because Billie Eilish told me so. Because Taylor Swift endorses Joe Biden. Nobody fucking changed their minds, but I bet Alvarez's story will change some minds. Maybe not hardline partisan Dems or Biden's crippled core fan base, but people that are center-left that lean in that direction. That was a heavy hitter. And so were the McCloskeys, arguably. That's about all. Peace out.